A little observation for the solar eclipse that we're in now. Now that we're well into it, like I think we're like 13 or 14 degrees like into this new moon. And if you don't know when an eclipse is basically okay, you know, and in astronomy terms, okay, sun sun casts over like a shadow behind the moon and stuff like that. You know, when the moon and the sun like conjunct each other exactly and they're facing each other. This eclipse right here is partial, It's not like a major like complete eclipse, but still an eclipse, right? In astrological terms, like really an eclipse is when our identity, our ego and our vulnerability, the world that we're actually in is gonna be blended. It's gonna be blended together. It's gonna be blended together, and this is gonna create a new way of how we kind of see ourselves in a specific like area of life and stuff like that. You know, through actions. Through what we're subconsciously aware of and what we're consciously aware of. That's how it kind of works. I mean, well, at least that's my perspective and stuff like that. But I've noticed with this new moon in Libra, it being a solar eclipse and stuff like that, it's kind of like a full moon scenario. But the way I like to break it down is that instead of being fulfilled or unfulfilled, this is gonna be through the lens of being prepared or unprepared for what's about to come next. Like when it comes to your manifestations. And mind you, during an eclipse, the moon ain't working for you, like and stuff like that. Well, the moon never worked for you, even when it was a regular new moon and stuff like that. You still had to let the new moon work through you, of course, and stuff like that. But it was still in the sense of helping you out for letting the manifestations you want play out the way you want them to and stuff like that in the way that's right for you. On an eclipse, you can't do that. This is gonna be some shit to where okay, the moon is gonna manifest shit that you need to see and stuff like that. So it's gonna work through you, but it's not voluntarily doing it. Well, actually, no. What am I saying? It's voluntarily doing that, and you kind of have no control over your manifestations whatsoever during this time. So it's more so best to meditate during this time. But anyways, now I'm gonna get into like the actual meaning of the eclipse being in of the solar eclipse being in Libra and like what that entails, what was expected, what came of this transit like so far, and what it's showing you is basically it's gonna show you the area of life to where you had, how would I say this? You had some sort of like trying to formulate this the right way for people who are new here or for people who like aren't even into astrology to where they could understand it. So okay, so we got conjunct the South Node, Lilith. Okay, I got it. So the new moon is gonna basically show you where you were showing like toxic ways of relating in a specific of relating in a specific area of life, basically like the way you value relationships and the way you compromise and stuff like that. It's gonna show you like if you're unprepared how you've been toxic in those areas up until now, and it's gonna manifest some devastating shit for you. And going forward, like when the full moon goes into Aries, or that might be like a lunar eclipse, maybe. I'm not too sure. I gotta look it up. But when the full moon goes into Aries, like you either have the choice of being willing to change your circumstance now and like realizing that you fucked up and holding yourself accountable to where now you gotta change your toxic habits that you were doing in that specific area of life that you got Libra in, because that's where the moon is gonna shine through. That's where the moon is gonna manifest and stuff like that in that specific area of life where you got Libra in, if you know your houses or stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Basically. And then, oh yeah, and if you are, so that's if you're unprepared. If you're already prepared, then you've already been like, cut cut old and outdated ways of relating. Old like old negative habits like that you would do when it came to compromising or when it came to relaying ideas to other people. Based on like a sort of like deep connection that you had, like through that area to where you were focusing like and putting your compromising energy in and stuff like that. You've been handled like relationships in that area, so now it's like with this new moon you get to just chill and stuff like that, and then after you can see what the moon has in store for you if you were prepared this whole time, and what kind of positive manifestations and and what and what you reaped, like from good seeds, and like what kind of prosperous things that's in store for you in the future. You get to see that after this new moon. But yeah, that's pretty much my observation for this eclipse so far. If you enjoy it, hey, feel free to like. I'm not really asking for anything. I'm just sending a message. Stretch out.